Yeah. You like to start a show.
Yes.
Where Rain at? Come Rain, come say hello to the cameras. True?
What's your name?
You want to say hello? Come on up before I start talking. Say hello. What's your name?
I'm Brave.
Brave. What's your name?
Rain.
Rain.
True.
True.
Nice to
So
meet you.
these are cheerleaders. So dad got to talk. So y'all want to sit down?
Yeah, we'll sit down.
Go with your sister.
Don't have the spotlight.
Appreciate y'all spending y'all Saturday.
It's good.
Yeah. All right, what we got?
So, I know initially you were going to scrimmage on Saturdays. I know there's plans maybe now on Tuesdays. So what did you do out there in the stadium today?
Today was more situational. So we did red zone. We did third down red zone. Because Coach Malzahn was just talking about it, like just being really good in different situations. And obviously the red zone is what we have to be good at. We have to stop guys from scoring, force field goals, and offensively we trying to score touchdowns. So it's always good to do those situations. And with Coach Malzahn, we do a lot of situations because that's when you're calling plays and understanding the game. So, defensively and offensively, it helps you out. Just understanding what other teams are doing.
So the plan is to do a scrimmage on Tuesday, or
right now it's Thursday.
Okay.
Next Thursday, just give guys enough time. We have some more install we need to do and different things like that. So right now, Coach Malzahn was thinking about Thursday.
I know you had a couple workouts since this past Tuesday's scrimmage, but that was a big day to be live and tackling. So how did you see the guys doing on Tuesday?
It wasn't bad. That was our first time tackling since the bowl game. So it wasn't bad. We missed a few tackles, but the tackles went down from last year this time, which is good. And you're always coaching, so we won't have any missed tackles. But that was our first time tackling, but it was good to see the guys run around. And our main thing as coaches, we're coaching the X's and O's and the final details of the defense, but let's not overlook guys getting to the ball. Let's get to the ball. Let's get to the ball. If we get to the ball with bad intentions, good things will happen. But overall, it was a solid day. It was things that we showed them that we needed to get better at as a defense and then individuals as well. And we were really, really particular on the individual, just different things that an individual need to get on. And then me as the coordinator, I was talking to broad schemes, just making sure everyone gets to the ball. So overall, I thought it was a solid day.
Brandon Adams had the pick in that scrimmage. Talk about what you're seeing from him this spring.
Just seeing a lot of growth. Last year as a freshman, we threw him out there, threw him in the fire, and just saw him progress and saw him get better. He's a guy that has a lot of talent. The sky's the limit for him. Just a former quarterback, didn't have a lot of time on task playing cornerback. But what he has is he has a lot of heart. He has dog in him. He's willing to learn. So you can see him getting better each day. Just looking forward to him continue to get better. But that was a great pick by him. It was a pick six. So anytime you have that, it's good.
I know you're not in the game, for months, but are there some position battles? Is there a couple spots where guys are really going at it where, maybe it's too early to call or you really have no idea how it's going to work out?
All 11. I really don't know how it's going to work out. We always say we don't have starters, we have standards. So if every kid, just keep the standard of what we're looking for. And that's on and off the field. I know it's like, that's coach talk, but we're dead serious about it because we got to be able to depend on you off the field, on the field making the right checks, on the field when it's going and it's going, who's making the right checks, who's missing tackles, who's not running to the ball. So, we're not giving anybody anything. We like we said, we have standards that we have and we don't have starters. So position battle is all 11. Obviously, we know some guys that can play. We understand that. We're not going to sit here and lie to you. But at the same time, we want to keep that standard the way we want it.
About 2 weeks from today is the spring game. What's something you guys want to work on defensively, till the end of spring?
Communication. The guys are getting comfortable in the defense now. I just want to hear just chaos of talking. Where it is the safeties coming down, rotating and saying sky left, sky right, whether it's whatever verbiage that we're using, just let's talk. The more you talk, the more confident you are. Now as a coach and you watching, he's getting confident in the defense. Most of the guys, that sit there, it's like class. The teacher asks you a question and the kid that don't answer, you don't know it. It's just like that same thing with football. If I don't see you communicating, you're kind of looking around, he waiting on somebody to give him the answer. So it's the same thing, just making sure the communication is there, and as coaches, it make you feel a lot better. They know what they're doing. Football is football. They have 11, we got to match our 11 with their 11. But if we don't communicate, you could turn someone free.
Now, Kobe Berry comes in with a lot of experience. What are you seeing from him, and how do you see him, helping you guys out this year?
He can find the ball. He can find the ball. Like Coach Malzahn said, he's like a heat-seeking missile. He's a very, very aggressive player. Love ball. He's not scared. He's not scared of contact. Matter of fact, the first play, he actually met a running back in the hole, and it was a collision, and the running back kept going. And most players would be nervous the next time. And the second time, he just running in and do it again. And third, he just kept going and kept going. So it just shows he has a lot of courage and he loves ball. So let's continue to look. Like now, it's times fast isn't always good. So we got to slow him down in some situations. And Coach Addy and Coach Gibbs are doing a great job with that, and him just learning our system and how we operate. But looking forward to him to help us a lot.
What are you seeing in terms of players stepping up in leadership roles?
Jeremiah Jean-Baptiste is the first guy that come to mind. And he's stepping up, being vocal. Man, he's just a superhuman being. That's the first thing. I know I keep saying it, but I love being around him. He loves football. He loves his teammates. He breaks down the huddle. You know, he's communicating. So he's one. Ricky Barber is another one, you know, that stands out. I mean, the list goes on. You know, Brown is quiet, but you can start hearing him. You know, he's a naturally quiet kid. You kind of lead by example, but he's taking the bull by the horn and being more vocal. But I would say Jeremiah is a guy that you hear. You know, Josh Sellerscar is a guy that you hear. Ricky Barber is a guy that you hear. You know, so you know those are guys that's kind of standing out leadership-wise, vocally.
How do they help you as a coach?
It helps a lot because you know we don't play. You know, those guys are going to be the guys on the field, and we're out there making calls and different, I mean, calling the game. So, but we're not out there when it's play 8 of the drive and you're back against the wall. Somebody has to step up, and that's where those leaders come in at it. All right, guys, let's go, let's get a stop. It's third down, let's get off the field. That goes a long way. A quiet defense is not a good defense. So we don't want a quiet defense. We want them on the edge. We want them talking. We want them very confident. I don't know a knife that's dull that can cut. So we want an edge on our knife. So that's what I like about those guys that I just named. And a lot of the guys, there's other guys as well that's taking the bull by the horn and trying to be a leader.
When you were young, T. Will, were you quiet at first? Were you always kind of, I know you didn't play until your redshirt sophomore year, is that kind of when you emerged, but were you quiet at first, or were you always kind of like, how would you describe yourself? I know you talk about some guys that's quiet, you said Devontae's kind of getting a voice. Were you like that, or were you always kind of?
I was always a loud, vocal guy, but when you first come in as a freshman, you learn the system, I didn't have time to talk. I'm trying to learn what I'm doing. So I've been through that stage of like, okay, be seen and not heard as a freshman. I'm just gonna just work and prove myself. And as I continue to go, then start to be vocal. So I wasn't always a vocal leader when I first started, but I like to talk, as you can see. So off the field, I was talking. But on the field, I was kind of, okay, let me figure out, you know, it's moving fast. It's like they're playing with more than 11. So I had to let the game slow down, and then I started making calls.
You mentioned Jeremiah. Have you noticed, like, you know, he's the only one that is returning with real starting experience. Have you noticed the other guys in that linebacker group kind of lean on him for advice and things like that?
Yes, they are. They leaning on him. He does a good job, man. He does a good job just coaching them up, spending extra time with it. It's important to him, spending extra time with the guys. And you can see those guys are growing. Those guys are up, you know, as far as their play. You see Terrence Lewis, who's out, you know what I'm saying? He's still, you know, going through the rehab process, but he's spending a lot of time with Jeremiah. And then you also have our GA, Trey Williams, who's like a coach on the field. Like he's gonna be a really good ball coach. So they have a guy that they could lean on as well. But again, he's a guy like Jeremiah. I was watching him, like the last scrimmage, he wasn't out there, had a little slight hamstring, nothing major, but he was coaching. He was coaching, and that's what you want to see. If you're not out there, you're getting mental reps and you're coaching the young guys.
How was pro day yesterday? You think the guys helped themselves?
I thought it was good. I mean, it was good to see those guys go out there and chase their dream. You know, they worked so hard, you know, 4 or 5 years to get to that point, and then you go out and you go train to get to that point, and you get to the point of that's 2 hours. You go through 5 years for 2 hours, you know, of just bench press, vertical, 40-yard dash, doing positional drills, and hopefully, you know, those guys did a good job. They can help themselves and make some money.
At this point in the spring, what are the biggest questions you still have to answer the rest of the way?
Well, that's a good question. I think the question mark is, you know, just seeing, okay, the linebackers emerge, see them continue to come together. I would say that just, you know, because all of those guys are battling, you know, for playing time, and all those guys are trying to please. They're trying to do everything I ask of them. I would say that, and then the communication part of it, because even on the back end, you know, we got some DBs that are new, and we got guys that have playing experience, and we're doing some shuffling on the back end just to create some competition. Just the communication part of it, seeing a linebacker step up. Now, on the defensive line, we get a lot of hard count. And one thing coming from the top, coming from Coach Malzahn, and then going to myself, just making sure those guys stay on sides. You know, the last game last year against our rival, we were offsides. They threw an interception. The game would have been over, but we had offsides. So those were the things that we show those guys, okay, the game was supposed to be over. It shouldn't even got down to the 3-yard line. So now just having those examples. So up front, stand on sides, playing physical, playing in our gaps, linebackers, communication, trying to see how we shuffle them and making sure those guys are getting better there. In the back end with the musical chairs is creating competition and again, communication.
Appreciate it. Good luck, Coach.
Always good, fellas. Thank y'all guys. All right.
Appreciate it.